Let's just wait to see if anyone joins because I've literally just ended the session and I thought I would make the most of the time and do a quickie for those lovely GCSE students. But Murphy's Law, my computer's just died. So, paciencia. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, baby. Fire up, fire up. This computer is on its way out. And I think it's safe to say that no quiere cooperar. Cooperar hoy. It doesn't want to cooperate, and that is okay, except without it. This is going to be a little bit complicated. It's all right though, because no one's on at the moment, so it gives me a little time. Good afternoon, Arturo Díaz. ¿Cómo estás? ¿En qué idioma estás hablando hoy? ¿En inglés? Of course. So, this session, if you are a GCSE student, welcome, welcome. I am thrilled to have you. I just need to get my computer fired up. Same to you. Oh, I am fine. I've got a free period, and so I thought I'd make the most of it and just do a quick session for those students who are doing their GCSE exam this year. And I'm just going to give some pointers on how to get the best results in their Spanish exam. So that is it. What about you? How has your day been? How's your day going, rather? It's always a good question to know. And do you speak Spanish? Are you here for the sessions? So I expect that you do speak Spanish already. Okay, and so are you learning English or are you a native speaker? What's the case with you? And have you been here before? Is this your first time or are you a regular? I am terrible when it comes to keeping up with who has been on because sometimes I'm so focused on what I'm doing that I don't remember the names. Venezuela, hello. La biblioteca desconocida. Ese nombre sí que me acuerdo de ese nombre. I do remember you because, yeah, it's a very unique name. But I speak Spanish, but I just like, okay, you like both. So you're bilingual. Do you speak any other languages? We are in that at the moment. En this corner, en este rinconcito, la pasión por los idiomas is what we're looking for. Hello, Crocs Neo. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. So, I just really want to know if anyone pops on who's doing the GCSE exam, do let me know because this session is really for you. The aim is to get your ears really used to listening to Spanish, so when you get to your exam, you won't be nervous because you would have had that practice of doing the dictation, which is new this year. They have changed the exam for 2026. So if you did the exam last year and you failed the exam, it's slightly different this year. I speak Spanish, English, and understand and speak a little Creole or French. That is amazing. Brilliant. I love that. I speak Creole as well. Well, Jamaican patois. So yeah. So the exam format, I just did a video. I uploaded the video today to explain all the changes that there are in your exam this year, and do not be scared. Don't be scared. It is okay. I think it's always quite intimidating when we see that the format that we know is about to change or has changed, and we don't know where to go, we don't know how to react. And so that's why I'm here, to make sure that you're not lost. Valeria Ramirez. You know, Spanish, Portuguese, and you learn Korean. Oh, Asian languages always seem so complicated to me, because the structure is completely different. It's nothing to do with Latin languages. I think Latin languages for us, or Germanic languages like English and German, we can see ourselves in those languages, and so we can relate, and so we tend to speak them better. But for those lovely students who are doing Spanish, os voy a dar muchos ejemplos de lo que es el nuevo listening in GCSE Spanish, okay? It's really just 30 words long. It's very short. Y va a ser muy fácil conmigo porque yo tengo acento inglés, no soy española, no soy latina, soy como vosotros, la mayoría de vosotros, de Inglaterra. Entonces, igual nos va a costar mucho entenderme a mí. En el examen real vais a tener una persona nativa, una persona española, una persona latina. Okay? So that is it. Portuguese word for, I don't know, girl? David? I have no idea. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing today. I'm going to be giving you some, and you're going to write it down. You can send it to my email so I can correct it. De eso estoy hablando. Estoy hablando de los que tienen el examen, ¿vale? O lo podéis poner en el chat, o me lo podéis mandar después si no queréis pasar vergüenza. Amir, so say hello, how are you? Me and yes, I'm just going to do that. It won't be hard. Wait, oh no. Give me an example. (2026) for different themes. I'm not going to make it difficult at all. It's going to be, oh, you have to go, Valerie. Mwah. I'll see you very soon. I hope that you have a smashing evening, and I will see you, well, if you get back at some point. Okay, so I'm going to practice. So the first one comes from theme 1. So theme 1 is identity and culture. La identidad y la cultura. Lo único que tienes que hacer es apuntar exactamente lo que escuchas, ¿vale? No traduzcas, ¿ok? No quiere que traduzcas lo que escuches. Lo único que requiere esta parte del examen es que apuntes con exactitud lo que oigas. Okay? They're testing your listening skills. They want to know if you are able to write the words correctly. For every word that you spell correctly, you will get a point. So most of these are 30 words long. It's really not short. It's not very long at all. It's only 30 words, and so there's a point for each word you spell correctly. I think this is an amazing way to pick up points. And so I'm going to read it to you in Spanish because that's how it will be done in your exam. Your teacher is not going to read it for you. There'll be a native person on the recording. I'm going to read it twice, as in the exam, you will be given the dictation twice, and so just write it down, okay? I do speak English, familia. I do speak English, but English is my mother tongue, but I also teach Spanish for those students who have had to learn, who are learning Spanish just the way I did when I was at school, que somos muchos, que nos encanta aprender el español, nos encanta. Así que vamos a empezar. So, identidad y cultura, la identidad y la cultura. Okay. So, en mi tiempo libre me encanta escuchar música con mis amigos, pero este año quiero aprender a tocar la guitarra porque pienso que es un instrumento muy especial. Twice you'll be given it. So second time. En mi tiempo libre me encanta escuchar música con mis amigos. Pero es como... Voy a empezar de nuevo. Scrap that. Okay. En mi tiempo libre me encanta escuchar música con mis amigos. Coma. Pero este año quiero aprender a tocar la guitarra porque pienso que es un instrumento muy especial. That is all. I told you it was super short. Now, all you're expected to do is to write down exactly what you heard. Not in English, in Spanish, as is. Okay? The second theme comes from local area, holiday, and travel. So that is it. And so the dictation goes like this. Again, I will read it twice. And if you're watching this and you are from lower school, if you're in the year 7 to 9, this is just good practice for you. Okay? You don't have to write it all down, but it's good practice for you to listen to Spanish words being spoken. So, el verano pasado fui a un pueblo pequeño cerca del mar donde las playas eran tranquilas y la comida era deliciosa. Espero volver el año que viene con mi familia. Okay. El verano pasado fui a un pueblo pequeño cerca del mar donde las playas eran tranquilas y la comida era deliciosa. Espero volver el año que viene con mi familia. That is it. I'm going to give you a few of these because it's just practice. Okay? Let me know how you get on with it. I think this is actually the changes that they've made this year is to encourage more students to take up Spanish, to take up languages. I think it was much harder before because there was such a massive emphasis on grammar and just learning loads of vocab, where this year they are really focusing on whether or not you are able to communicate your ideas well in Spanish or in French or in German. And so that is just, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Okay, so the third topic, yeah, it is definitely easier now, Links. It is easier. You know, last year I was thinking about going back and accepting a post near my mummy in Wiltshire. And when I went in for the interview, I thought, oh my gosh, things have changed so much. You know, it's not what it was. I remember just having such a hard time when we had to do A-level Spanish. And now everything is just given to you. And I think I don't know if it's better in the long run. I don't know if you'll be well prepared when you go to university, but it's definitely easier than it was. I don't know how prepared you're going to be then when you come to Spain for your year out, if you're going to struggle. But who knows? Communication is key, and I do think that you have a lot more access now to material than I did when I was growing up. So, yay to good positive changes if more students are going to take up languages, because it's necessary. Okay, so environment and sustainability. I'm going to read it twice again. So, en mi ciudad han empezado un proyecto nuevo para plantar más árboles en los parques, porque quieren reducir la contaminación y crear espacios más agradables para todos. Okay, you see, really easy. These, they're really not very long, so I don't think anyone should get stressed out about it. Once more, I will read that. En mi ciudad han empezado un proyecto nuevo para plantar más árboles en los parques, porque quieren reducir la contaminación y crear espacios más agradables para todos. So again, a word that you're going to see time and time again is high frequency words. So obviously, if you're doing environment, you're going to be seeing things like ciudad, proyecto, plantar, árboles, cosas de la naturaleza, parques, mar, playa, cosas así. Okay, and all the verbs that we use every day, obviously most of those are high frequency verbs. Poder, hacer, causar, comer, those very typical things. Okay, right. Let's look at theme 8, which is social media and communication. Okay, so social media and communication. With this, I feel as though you guys are quite lucky, because now there are so many borrowed English words that have just been transferred over to Spanish. It's beautiful. You just have to put a little accent on it, you know, put a little bit of season, and it's Spanish. It's great. I have lots of Spanish English words that, yeah, you don't have to relearn, and so brilliant for us. Okay, so I'm going to read the text again. I haven't read this one, so I'm going to read it for the first time. I'm going to read it twice. And so I'm going to start. Muchos jóvenes usan las redes sociales para compartir fotos y seguir a sus amigos, pero algunos dicen que puede causar estrés y si pasas demasiado tiempo comparándote con los demás. Okay? Again, muchos jóvenes usan las redes sociales para compartir fotos y seguir a sus amigos, pero algunos dicen que pueden causar estrés si pasas demasiado tiempo comparándote con los demás. All high frequency words rather. I keep saying high frequency verbs instead of words, and I don't mean this. I must have said it 100 times today. So obviously the word jóvenes, you're going to hear it a lot. Niños, la gente joven, redes sociales, compartir, subir, descargar, los likes, dar likes, causar, verbos como peligroso, seguro. These are all high frequency words that you're going to be finding, that you can find in any text that you are reading about this topic. And this is why it's wonderful, because It's also a very easy way of learning new words. You get a text, a real text, not a text produced by your teacher, but a text that you just go online and get and write in Google the Spanish title, and it will come out for you. It's lovely. I wish I was born before. Later, actually, not before. I was born before, and that's the problem. I had to go the long route round. You know, I had to do the difficult part. It took me forever to learn Spanish because I remember I didn't have access to reading. I had to go to the library in Wiltshire, but in Trowbridge, where I grew up, we didn't have a large amount of resources when it came to languages. We had probably maybe 10 books. And out of those 10 books, maybe 3 were in Spanish. And so I really had to travel out to really get listening resources to study, because we didn't have so much in terms of internet. And so we've come a long, long way. And I'm making myself sound ancient. I'm making myself sound as though I was born in 1920s. In the 1920s. Yeah, nearly. I was born in the 1920s, though my students do think that I was born in the 1920s. I assure you it was a little bit later. And so, okay. So, right, yeah. So, popular words. Okay. Go into Google, put the topic you wish to study, read texts on that. Follow Spanish people. It's a brilliant way. Okay, we're going to do a couple more and then I'm going to leave it. Mexico City, Vani, how are you? Brilliant to have you. Me encanta Monterrey. I have a fantastic friend that I've known for many, many years. Again, it was from my days of traveling and learning languages. I was learning German when I was quite a lot younger, and so I met this amazing girl who's still my friend until today, Eunice. She's from Monterrey, as I said, and we had such a blast in Germany. I was traveling on my own, and so that's an experience as well. Lots of Mexican people, young people back then. I don't know if it's still the same now, but it was definitely an amazing time. Okay, let's move on, because I do andar por las ramas. Okay, so I'm going to try and stay with it for this one. Theme, the next theme is vida sana, so healthy living. Y el dictado es este. Para mantenerme en forma, intento correr 3 veces por semana y evitar la comida rápida, aunque a veces es difícil porque tengo mucho trabajo y llego a casa muy cansado. Hi, Links. Do I have a specific time? Well, this time I tend to do lives, but if I get a student come into this session, I obviously can't. I have to go with the flow. Yeah, so that's it. That is it. I'm not quite sure what you're saying, Van, but yeah, that is it. I'm going to read it once more, and yeah, it's not for translating, but if there is someone here who is year 7, you can use this by not just writing down what you hear, but also translating it into English. That's a fantastic way to brush up and to learn new vocabulary, okay? So, again, the same one. Para mantenerme en forma, intento correr 3 veces por semana y evitar la comida rápida, aunque a veces es difícil porque tengo mucho trabajo y llego a casa muy cansado. Okay? That's my case. I feel as though this was written for me. Okay? We're going to move on to another topic, which is trabajo voluntario, so volunteering. Lots of people don't like to talk about this because they lack vocabulary. And so if you're one of those people, just make sure that you're doing this, and I will, you ought to take notes here and perhaps do one that's similar. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. Okay, yeah. So as I said, this year, if you missed it, there's been a change to the 2026 Spanish GCSE exam, and one such change is the listening exam, where in section B, there is a dictation. Well, you don't have to translate the dictation. You just have to write down exactly what you hear, as it is testing your comprehension and your writing skills to see how accurately you're writing the words. So for higher tier, you're going to find that it's between 28 and 30 words, and you will get a single point for every word you get correct out of 30 points. So let's see how well you get on. Okay, so I'm going to start with volunteering. I'm going to read it twice, as I've done with all the others. Okay. Los sábados ayudo en un comedor social donde preparo comida para personas mayores. Me gusta colaborar porque aprendo a ser más responsable y a valorar lo que tengo. Okay. For younger kids, remember what I said before? Los sábados ayudo en un comedor social donde preparo comida para personas mayores. Me gusta colaborar porque aprendo a ser responsable y a valorar lo que tengo. What I would do here, even though in the exam you're not required to do that, this is just revision for you guys. So I would translate and try and see words that you don't know. A word that perhaps you wouldn't have seen is colaborar, but if you look at it, you would see that's collaborate, because it looks like the English equivalent. Again, it's focusing on high frequency verbs. So it starts off with los sábados. Los sábados, you know, it's a weekend. Viernes, sábado, domingo. That reminds you that you really ought to brush up on your days of the week. Do you know how to say the days of the week in Spanish? If you do not, this is the perfect time to do so. Make sure you know how to say them. Remember the articles. Remember how to say on Mondays, which is not el lunes, el lunes. Okay? Or if you're saying you're saying on Saturdays in plural, remember it's los in plural, los sábados. Los sábados suelo ir. Remember that these are just basic things. That's what we mean by high frequency, things that you should have learned in lower school. Okay? Ayudo, ayudar. The word ayudar, which is to help, is obviously a verb that you should know. If you're talking about volunteering, obviously that's what you're doing. You're helping, you're participating, you are showing that you care. Think of all these verbs that you would naturally say in English, and you would just use those in Spanish. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science if you think about it. Just think what you would normally say in English. It says, porque aprendo, ser más responsable. You look at this text, and even if you didn't know that responsable was responsible, you can sort of deduce from the context that's what it is. And so it's brilliant. Just practice, my loves. Practice. Oh, hello, Vanny. I am sorry. You were asking a question. So I'm a teacher. I teach languages. I'll explain And so my students, mostly from the British curriculum, are studying to pass an exam in Spanish. So it's a GCSE exam. And so this year, there's been quite a few changes in the exam. So I'm just explaining and trying to get them to get some practice in. Okay, so I'm just explaining the changes that there are this year in the exams. It might be different where you're from, but in the UK, we have GCSE Spanish, we have GCSE German, we have GCSE Chinese, todos los idiomas que puedes imaginar, pues esos son los 5 más populares. En la mayoría de los institutos tenemos alemán, español, francés, chino, japonés. ¿Ya? Vale, los más populares. Esos son los idiomas. ¿Qué pasa? Que ese nivel, que es GCSE, que es como un bachillerato, ¿no? En España. Y eso es lo que estoy haciendo. Estoy intentando preparar a los alumnos para ese examen, porque ha habido unos cambios importantes y he hecho un video hoy para explicar los cambios que van a empezar este año cuando les toca hacer el examen. Así que eso es todo. No soy psicóloga, soy profesora y ya está, ¿ok? Aunque a veces hago de psicóloga también, ¿ok? So that's what it is, ¿ok? I'm not a psychologist, but as a teacher, you sometimes you have to play that role, ¿ok? Thank you for your attention. Absolutely, there's no need. You know, you're here. We're having a lovely time, and so I'm here to answer any questions that you might have. And so, thank you for being here and for being interested in the topic. And so that is it. And even if you're not taking the exam, it's not going to hurt you to find out a little bit more about a language and probably pick it up yourself. Why not? Even if you don't have the exam, it's all right. You don't have to have an exam to do this. Que estoy con las estas, que he estado quemando a mis velas porque huelen súper ricas. Okay, I love the smell of vanilla, and so it calms me. And so yeah, that is it. That's all you need to know. You also need to remember that you yourselves, in the exam, you're going to be reading out aloud. Noreña, greetings from Spain. Fantastic, lovely to have you. And so that is it. This year you are required to do a dictation yourself. So you're going to read out aloud. You'll be given a short text in Spanish. It's not too long. No panic. You do not need to panic at all. It's not that complicated. The only thing that you're doing is reading out the text in your best Spanish accent. Okay? If you get a text, guys, okay, remember that text that I just read, Los Sábados, okay? Remember, this is how I read it. Los sábados ayudo en un comedor social donde preparo comida para personas mayores. Me gusta colaborar porque aprendo a ser más responsable y a valorar lo que tengo. Okay? It's not the same as saying with your English accent, because a lot of us do not change our English accents. I do not want to hear anyone saying, Los sábados ayudo en un comedor social donde preparo comida para personas mayores. Me gusta colaborar porque aprendo a ser más responsable y a valorar lo que tengo. None of that. No quiero oír eso. Okay, I do not want to hear any of that. Make the effort, guys. Make the effort, because you're going to lose marks if you don't try at least to put on a Spanish accent. Okay? We all know what a good old English accent sounds like. We know what it sounds like, right? And so when you're speaking in Spanish, make the effort to change your accent around a little bit. Okay? Exaggerate it. Okay? Me gusta. Not me gusta. Okay? So the schwa that we have in English, don't transfer it to Spanish, because it doesn't exist, does it? Okay? So that's what you're going to be focusing on when you're reading the part that you have to read. Be confident, walk in thinking, yo soy Penelope Cruz, okay? Lo puedo hacer, lo voy a hacer, okay? Lo vas a hacer genial, okay? You just need to believe in yourself. And half the time is that. It's just believing that you're able to do something and do it, and doing it. No problem, links. Okay? It's saying to yourself, of course I can do this. You know, and lots of times we're scared and we don't think we're good enough. Okay? That imposter syndrome that follows us around. Ignore that voice. Ignore that voice. You can do it. You're going to do it marvelously well. You just need to practice. Be over the top with it. Read lots of these texts. Okay? Para mantenerme. Practice your R's, okay? I did a video on this about the R's, because lots of you worry about your R's sounding too English. Okay? So think of the cat purring. Okay? You have a cat on your lap, the sound that it makes, the purring sound. Practice that. Practice doing that many times. Use AI as well. Ask questions when you do not have your teacher, right there to ask. Use the internet. Ask these questions. Where do I position my tongue to pronounce such a letter in such and such a letter in Spanish? I will tell you where to put your tongue, because I talk about this a lot. The idea that the positioning of your mouth changes. When we're speaking in English, it's a lot about the lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue, and we don't speak the same way. I'm talking in English now, and my mouth is moving in a very different way to when I changed to Spanish. If you notice, I've just said that. Ahora, cuando estoy hablando en español, es que todo cambia, ¿ok? Hay sonidos que vienen de otras partes de la boca, ¿ok? Gesticulo mucho también, ¿ok? No sé si eso es algo que normal, pero gesticulo muchísimo más en español que en inglés. No lo sé. I don't know why I do that. So practice doing that. Moving your mouth in different positions, okay? Think of words that are the same, okay? Words that have been carried over. So English words that are said in Spanish. Hospital, for example. Hospital, okay? Practice those. Because otherwise we tend to just say the way we do in English. When we in the middle of a Spanish sentence, we'll be like, oh yeah, me fui al hospital. Okay, no, okay, it doesn't work. So we have to try and change it up a little bit. Mi padre es a doctor. No, okay, doctor. So it's very important that all these words that we generally spell the same, both in Spanish and English, that you're adding the Spanish accent to it. Okay? And that is it. I'm going to give you one more dictation and then I'm going to go. Okay? Because I know you have things to do. We all have things to do. And so I don't want to be here all evening boring you to death. So one more. And then I'm going to go because I have a class now. Okay? one last one, just because I love you, and I'm going to say goodbye after this last one. Okay? Get a friend and do it with them. Okay? So this topic is costumbres y festivales. Okay? So traditions and festivals. That's your topic. And so I'm going to read it for you. I'm going to read it twice. And for those of you who are not doing your exam this year, and perhaps you might find this a little bit difficult still, you can translate it because it's a fantastic exercise for you to really practice your Spanish. Okay? And that's what we're here to do. I'm here to help you navigate through your Spanish exams this year. Okay? So I'm going to start it for you. I'm going to read it normally, and you're going to write down what you hear. En mi región celebramos una fiesta muy antigua donde la gente lleva ropa tradicional y prepara platos especiales. Cada año participan más visitantes porque el ambiente es alegre y acogedor. That's nice and easy. I'll repeat. En mi región celebramos una fiesta muy antigua donde la gente lleva ropa tradicional y prepara platos especiales. Cada año participan más visitantes porque el ambiente es alegre y acogedor. Okay? That's what you have to do. That's basically what the dictation will sound like. Typically 30 words long, 28 to 38 long, 28 to 30 words long if you're doing higher tier Spanish. So something like that. Get lots of practice in, guys. And yeah, that is it. Even now, some Mexicans have trouble pronouncing the strong R or double R. A friend of mine still sweeps the R like he's blowing. Hey, Brian Rojas, ¿cuánto tiempo? How are you? You've come when I'm just about to sign off. Ah, that is so unfortunate. But do you know what? Going back to Van, there are lots of countries where the R's are still, R's is still a topic of conversation. I had a lovely guest last year from Costa Rica, costarricense, ¿no? Y claro, su R es como la R inglesa. O sea, no dice R, dice R. Me encanta escucharla hablar, o sea, suena muy bonito, ¿no? Pero es que no pronuncia la R tan fuerte como los españoles. Los españoles sí que dicen la R así fuerte, so, but it is different. From country to country, it does differ. But as I said, for those people who, oh, you just got back from Califas. Oh, okay. How long were you gone? How long did you go for? Okay, and how was your Christmas? Madre mia. I haven't been on for so long. You know, I went to England as well. I was home. I was in Wiltshire for a while, and you know, I get very homesick. So it's always nice to leave and just breathe air from somewhere different. You know, the world is for traveling, languages are for learning, for communication, and that's the beautiful thing this year that I'm glad to see, that the focus is more on communication. Can you communicate with other people? Can you communicate with the Spaniard? Can you communicate with the Latino person without feeling so subconscious? Can you just do that and be okay with having a conversation? And if you find that you can, you've already passed the exam, and life is not all about exams. It's just about being confident enough to do it, to make that massive step and say, do you know what, I'm going abroad and I'm going to use my Spanish, I'm going to use all the stuff that I've learned and just go ahead and do it. I am here, you are found for years and here. Oh, I did the Gcse's and A-levels and I'm studying English and Spanish law. Oh, I hope you're doing well and blessed. Oh, thank you, Mohammed. Oh, it's always so good when people come back and, you know, it's so brilliant. thank you for reaching out. And thank you for being here. I'm so glad that you're doing well and that you're studying law. What an amazing area to be studying. Brilliant. Um, no, I'm from England. I'm from England, not the US. And so, yeah, I've actually been to the US and I lived in New York for 2 years, many years ago, but no, I'm not from there at all. I don't have an American accent, I don't think. But, right. So, yeah, thank you for coming back around. And um, for New Year's, Christmas, and raise with my family and girls' family. Or what can they eat? I hope your New Year is better than last. Ah, yeah, no, it was good. My New Year was good. It was good. It was good. And I'm just whenever I'm with my siblings, for me, it's just the best thing in the world. And so, yeah, I can't complain at all. But that is it. I thank you guys. I wish I could hang out a little bit more and talk, but unfortunately, I have a class now, and so I'm going to have to leave you. But I had a blast talking to you, and yeah, that's it. I'm going to have to leave you. I'm going to have to love you and leave you. Thank you for being here, sharing a little bit of space, and just being humans together. Me encanta. I'm going to be sending you I'm sending you rather, lots of positivity. And I hope to catch you on another live very soon. Maybe tomorrow, who knows? Okay? Mwah. Love you lots. Take care. See you soon. Bye. Okay, well, you can find my Facebook on here anyways. So I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye. Nos vemos. Eso es.